We are here today on Country Pocket with Neev. The new album is the debut album is called Katherine. Neev, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I was running a little late for this meeting because I was writing a new thing. So that's good. Always good news. So I'm in a good mood.
The first song we just heard was called Fast Patterns. Um, what is there to do when you're in a relationship with someone who's entered that mindset? You know what I'm talking about, the one where they're starting to flirt with leaving.
Oh, well, so if we're talking about it in reference to fast patterns, that song's actually based on a friendship. Um, and so that, yeah, I mean, it very much is based around the idea that someone's kind of mentally exiting that friendship, really. Um, what is there to do? I think that person leaving kind of has to work it out on their own, don't they? And they'll like either come back because they kind of realize, or maybe they need to just go have that journey and then hopefully return at some point, coming to their senses about it.
Yeah, I mean, in the song, you talk about wanting to hold someone accountable. Can you hold someone accountable?
No, I don't. I think the when I wrote that song, I mean, and it's similar to a lot of the songs on the album, it's coming from like a really like ignorant and like self-centered voice. Every single line in the verse, each verse starts with I think. And it's from someone saying, this is what I think is right, and this is what I think is wrong. And here's where I think you need to be held accountable. And I think if anyone's coming from that point of view, ultimately there's no there's no agreement to be had, right? Because this person's so sort of set in their ways. And I think that was me trying to sort of reflect on a time and criticize that voice, and say, well, you're never going to hold this person accountable because you're not even thinking of them. It's from such a place of like frustration and self-righteousness. So no, I think the only person that can hold someone accountable is themselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say the very next question is, so at what point does wanting to rein someone else in become more toxic than what they're thinking?
I think as soon as you think you can rein someone in, right? Because it's like it's ultimately about everyone's individual journey. And I think that song was about control that's not possible between two people in a healthy relationship. So yeah, as soon as you think that you can change someone um in a way that's like not your right, yeah, you've lost the ability to have a good conversation about that stuff, I think.
Moving on to the next song called The House. What is it like when turmoil causes the home to no longer be that livable place where you come to and decompress and feel safe?
I loved that question when you sent it over, actually. It's like a really interesting way to think about that song, I think, because it's not really, whenever I've spoken about that song before, it's been about the voice, the speaker, because the song itself is about, it's kind of centered around the idea of this sort of 60s housewife and like her need for liberation. But the house in and of itself, that place, is such a huge part of like that dynamic, right? And like the only reason that you'd need liberation is if you're in like an unsafe place. So I loved that you thought about it in that way. And yeah, so I think that's probably where it comes from a lot, especially in reference to the house, is as soon as the house starts to feel like a place that's oppressing you or trapping you, it's no longer a haven. It's somewhere that feels like you need to break free from. And I think that's what the song was exploring when it talked about the house in this way, was like, right, there's been this shift for me now that, I no longer feel, or the character of the song no longer feels home to be a safe place, because they now feel of it as a place of oppression and restriction, and it's almost too small for them, really.
How do you get into the mindset of a 60s housewife?
I think it's you kind of start writing a thing, and then I think a lot of the albums are quite theatrical in that I come from quite like a theatrical background. Like all my relatives, well, on my mother's side, are actors and actresses, and although I never ever wanted to go into that field, I don't think I'm a very good actor. I've always loved the theatricality of the theatre and of acting and performing. And so I think entering a sort of character's mindset every time I write a song is something I really enjoy. It gives me that like little theatrical buzz that I love. So as soon as I start writing a song, I'll be like, right, who is this person and why are they saying what they're saying? And yeah, landed on a 60s housewife, I think, because it's a trope of oppression. Like it's a trope of someone being kind of oppressed and restricted, and that those are the themes that the song kind of touched on.
Yeah, I can tell we're a little different because in America we would definitely say 50s.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Like Stepford Wives era.
But have you ever been in one of those cycles where you're making the same mistakes and can't seem to stop yourself?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think the idea that we like only ever make one type of mistake once. I mean, for me anyway, is totally true. I think sometimes you need to learn things over and over again to realize that they're habits, or that there may be something you shouldn't be doing, or how you shouldn't process something. So yeah, for sure. I think that was that really fed into the lyric writing there.
Well, let's hear the house and we will be right back.